Good evening. Sorry I'm late, but Facebook was having a lot of issues today, so I couldn't get onto my page. At any rate, as promised, I'm finishing up this drawing from Tuesday, and this is going to be, uh, just me using my markers rather. Hopefully, people will see this that I'm on. But let's get going here. My first, always, I like to let people know I'm going to be just erasing all this. Just bear with me here, and then I'll get into the coloring. I decided I would wait to erase it to get going here. Do a little bit of prep so you can see more than just coloring tonight. Hey, Sherry, Allison, Desiree, Ruth, Wendy, Tanya, Michelle, how's it going? What's everybody been doing today? Did you guys have dinner already? What'd you have? Evidently, I think that everything's working again on the Book of Faces, but it was, I think, anyone who had like an iPhone or iPad, because I could go onto my laptop and there was no issue, and anyone who had an Android phone, there wasn't any issues either. It sounds like you guys had some good dinners. But you guys are here, the first ones. You know the drill. If you want to help out, if you could spread the love, that'd be awesome, so that more people know that I'm on right now. Erasing is always an interesting part of the process for me, because it reveals things. It reveals stuff that I haven't finished, inked in. Sometimes I forget lines, and also anywhere that I need to punch things up, I can see that once I get rid of the pencil. Thanks, Tanya. Appreciate it so much. Thank you, Pat. If you guys didn't know, I started this drawing, and what's what I'm going to be doing moving forward is starting off on YouTube on Tuesdays, penciling and inking in, and then I finish up on both. So a little incentive for you guys to venture over to the other side. Thanks, Tina. Jordan, you had Tim Hortons turkey bacon club sandwich with chocolate donut for dessert. I only know Tim Hortons from when we were up in Ohio picking up Gemelli. There was a Tim Hortons that was very close to the facility that we were training with Gemelli at. So I only know about the coffee, I think, and the donuts. All right. Thank you, Gail. Cool, Pam. All right, let's get going. So if any of you guys need a little recap of what this drawing is, I was just talking about when I was younger. I mean, you guys know I'm kind of got a quiet voice, so if I like was in a group and I made like a joke or said something, there was always someone who would, or not just, it's not one person, but I'd be in different situations where people would hear what I said because I was right next to them, and then they would repeat what I said, and then everybody would laugh about, and then I wouldn't get any credit for it. So kind of irked me when I was younger. I don't really care now, but it was just kind of a memory that I had, and I'm sure some of you can relate if you're quiet and people try to take credit for the things that you say, or just people trying to take credit for stuff that you do in general. It's not fun. All right. So I always like to start on this side so my hand doesn't run through everything. Thanks, Joyce. Kate, you can relate, yeah. Tanya, you give people credit where credit's due. It sounds like that's good. Good on you. Good on you, Tanya. Hey, it rhymed. Thanks, Joyce. Pam wants to know how old I was in this picture. Sometime in high school, I would say. Probably middle school, high school. I mean, it happened on multiple occasions. It's hard. It's interesting as I get older. Kids just seem to look younger to me. So one time my mom and I were driving by the local high school. This is years after I'd graduated high school. They just, the high school kids, they looked like little kids to us. It's really interesting how that is. Like you don't really notice how young people look until as you start getting older, then they seem younger to you. I don't know if you guys have experienced that. I just thought it was kind of funny. So this drawing is, hard for me to tell. I guess it's sort of a mix, a mashup of different ages. Hey, Rebecca. Thank you, Sharon. Pam wants to know if I'm still friends with people from high school. Oh, a few people. One that I've been friends with since I was 4, actually. And then a few others that I've been friends with anywhere from 13 to 18. But I don't know. I just, you lose touch with people. Your interests change as you get older. And you don't, one thing about high school is you're kind of stuck with people. You don't really get a choice. So you make friends with the people that you kind of are closely have the same interests as you. But then as you get older, you meet other people and you might relate with them better, or interests change, priorities change and sort of lose contact. I think now it's probably easier to stay in contact with people with all these social media platforms. So, I mean, if that was around when I was a kid, I'd probably be friends with some people still, at least through social media. Um, One thing that I always think is funny is how when you get on these social media platforms, there are people that you were not friends with or you didn't really hang out with at all, and they want to be your friend, and it's like I don't know. I mean, sometimes I if I didn't have a problem with them, then sometimes I'll accept their friend requests, but other times it's like, what do you, why do you, what do you want? What are you trying to find out? Are you trying to get some dirt on whatever became of me? Why are you trying to friend me? All right. Yeah, Sharon says, gotta love when someone that bullied and beat you up in grammar school is now friends with you on Facebook. Yeah, pretty wacky. Kim says, I don't friend anyone I don't really know or care for. Yeah, that's good policy. I mean, now that I'm in front of more people, I'm less picky about that, I guess, in terms of well, my page is more public now, right? So people can take a look at what I'm doing, and I actually would appreciate it because when they take a look at what I'm doing, then it just helps boost views and all that kind of stuff. So I guess it's mutually beneficial. They get to see what I'm up to, and I get more views. So I don't mind anymore. But there was a point when, up until I was here with Anna and Nana, I was very private. I didn't like people knowing anything about what I was doing. I don't know, just how I am. But now, just I don't really mind it anymore. So I guess that's cool. Leon, boundaries are good. Yes, yes, they are. Like at my high school, they always have reunions, and I just doesn't really interest me. I don't know, because a lot of the kids that go to those were all clicked up in high school, so it's they're seeing their old buddies, and a lot of I was sort of a little misanthrope in high school, so anybody that I was friends with probably was kind of antisocial too. So they're not going to go to the reunions. So I would feel kind of awkward going because I'd be with a bunch of people that I either completely have no memory of, or I have bad memories of, or I had no opinion of either way. I mean, maybe it would be interesting, but I wouldn't really have any reference. Like there wouldn't be any stories between us. Like, oh, remember that time when we went to such and such or did this and that. No, I remember the time that I saw you in my math class or when I was walking down the hall. That would be my memory of a lot of people from high school. It's funny. I went to the same high school that Robin Williams went to, and they were always trying to get him to give like graduation speeches, and he would always say something to the effect of, I just don't have a lot of fond memories of high school, so I don't think I'd really have anything nice to say. He did, however, I think he had one good friend whose kid graduated, and he did a recorded thing, I think, for a few years before I went there. So that's cool. I went to high school where a lot of actors went. It's really interesting. If you guys remember Beverly Hills 90210, Gabrielle Carteris, she went to my high school a few years before I did. Who else? You guys remember Buck Rogers in the 80s, a TV show? Erin Gray. She played Wilma Deering. She went to my high school. At least she finished out high school there. But she actually spoke at my high school graduation. Yeah, there's a lot of there's some other people, some other folks, I forgot their names, that went to my high school. Let's see. There's one other guy that I know. What's his name? Oh, David Strathairn, if anybody knows that actor. Pretty cool actor. He went to my high school. All these people went like years before I went, but just cool getting to hear about all these people that went to my high school. See, those would be the reunions I'd want to go to. Although they're probably like me, they probably don't want to go back there too. Anyway, so yeah, this was about people taking credit for stuff, kind of like me trying to take credit for famous actors that went to my high school and had nothing to do with me. Sorry, guys. Dog needs to eat. Hey, Karen. Mike wants to know if there's any famous singers that went to my school. Well, so let's see. There was one. Janis Joplin didn't go to my high school, but she lived behind my high school, and there was stories about her swinging by the high school and chatting it up with all the boys there. Rumor has it, anyway. Back in the 60s. Yeah, Janice did belong to the 27 Club. That is a very, very sad club to belong to. It's just interesting how young they were and what an impact some of these singers had on the world in just a short amount of time that they were here. Choice, your 50th is in July, and you don't plan on going. Have you ever been to any of your reunions? This last one that I had that I didn't go to, one of my friends actually asked me if I was going, and they went, and I was like, yeah. First of all, I don't live in the same state anymore, and even if I did, I don't think I'd go anyway. That's what I said to them, and they told me that it was actually a lot more fun than they expected it would be. So that's an interesting something I wouldn't have expected, especially from this old friend that went to the reunion, that they actually liked it. Sam and Hood's mother taught geometry high school. That's cool. Vicky says, I wish I could go to high school reunion. However, I can't as I graduated from an American independent school in Tehran. I didn't have much in common with many because they were mostly American military kids, and I was a UN brat, and we called ourselves. I was close to a few as the school is small. Wish I could go. It's interesting you say that you went to school in Tehran. There's a large population of people from Iran that live in the area that I grew up in, and a lot of those kids, their families came out to the United States when the Shah was deposed, and the Ayatollah came in and they took over the country. So yeah, a lot of the kids I went to were either born there, came out with their family, or they were born here shortly after. But I heard there's one story that there was this one kid that I knew. He was from there. His story was just blew my mind when he told us. He told this class, because I guess we're telling. You had to do some project. We're telling stories about something, but his story was that he was in Iran. He was about 14 years old, and he one day, I guess there was a war going on between Iran and Iraq way back when, way before the U.S. ever went there, and he said that he was in school and they pulled kids out of school, out of their class, and pressed them into the army. And they didn't tell their parents or anything. They just yanked these kids out there, and then they went to boot camp. And he and his friend were there, and they were just terrified. And they actually ran off. And then something happened, or there was a mine or some explosions happened. But his buddy lost his arm, and they were able to make it to the border, I think, to Turkey, and him and his buddy made it to Turkey, and he then was able to call his mom from there, and then from there they went to Paris, and then after that they came with their family. They came to the United States. So I can't imagine as a kid having to go through that kind of stuff. All right. Oh, thanks for watching, Betty. Oh wow! So you were there when the Shah was after the Shah came into power, Vicky. CrossFit 5. You like the sound of the con? Yeah, a lot of people do. Some people get annoyed by it, but other people find it very relaxing. Guess it's just a personal preference thing, but I'm glad you're one of the people that enjoy it. Hey, Ina, you're in Philly. We love Tom's dumplings in Philly. Sharon, you're afraid to travel outside the U.S. Yeah, things seem to be a lot less stable these days, huh? Have you gone to other countries before when you were younger? Ashes is the only thing that gets me is nails on a chalkboard. Yeah, that's a pretty cringy sound for sure. Let's see. Thanks, Harold. Vicky, you grew up in many countries, but right now you'd only feel safe going to the UK, Australia, New Zealand. Yeah, I'd love to go to those places. I've been to Australia and I love Australia, but it's such a long trip. Like when I did it, I didn't do any layovers. I didn't like stop in Dubai or Hong Kong or any of those places. I just went straight over to Sydney. Oh man, my rear end was not happy with me for several weeks. Thank you for reminding everybody, Sharon. Hey, Eileen. Ashley wants to know if they still make markers that smell like watermelon or other fruity foods. I remember those growing. I remember those too. Um, I don't know. I'm sure they do. I don't see why they wouldn't, unless it was like super toxic. But I'm sure they would have found some non-toxic way to do that. I bet you Anna must have some like that if they still make them. I'm trying to go fast. I got because I don't it's cool. Yes, I like hanging out with everybody, but if I'm already up past a half an hour, so that's a long time to ask people to sit and hang out. I thank you for doing it, but I really I'm trying to just be more mindful. Oh, well, thank you, Joyce. Okay. Let's see what we're going to do here. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Tanya. Yes, I know we did finish that biography the other day. Had you guys help me out with that? Michael, people enjoy all aspects here in your artistic skills, your voice, your stories, your chair that wants all the attention. Yes, I need to get that taken care of. I have what I need. Sharon sent me some silicone spray, so I need to get on that. Where is Anna and Nana? They are in the other room. Okay. getting to the end. Jody, wants to know if these are friends. No, not really. I mean, no. I mean, I guess they represent people, but not in. I didn't draw anybody in particular. Sort of probably just an amalgam of many people. But I think that's pretty much it for today. Thank you for hanging out with me and watching me finish my job here. No, it's not really a job, but I enjoy it. All right, here we go. This is it. Any questions before I go? Let me just. Thank you, Alice. Yes, I will be back on Saturday with a full live on both platforms, drawing, inking, and color. So if you have the time, be here on Saturday and you can watch me do a drawing from start to finish. All right. Thank you. When he says love the colors. What else? Thank you, Colleen. Thank you, Janine. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, guys. All right. I think that should do it. I will be back on Saturday. So if you guys are around, stay tuned. Appreciate you guys.